What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're going to love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We finally get to talk about some NFL Week 1. I have my Uncle Craig here with me. Say what's up, man.
What's up, guys? Aloha, CamATL. How's Hawaii treating you, brother?
Hawaii is great, man. I get to talk about Week 1 NFL while I'm overlooking the ocean, so it's pretty amazing.
This is like our Christmas right now, right?
I
feel
this
like
is
jittery. Like
I absolutely love this. Yeah,
Sunday cannot get here.
I'm so excited.
Enough.
Yeah, I mean, I like baseball, but man, finally we get some NFL back on TV. I definitely missed it for sure.
I'm gonna be like my kids. I won't be able to sleep. I'm gonna be waiting for Santa Claus, brother. That's how good it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to sleep either. I'm with you on that. All right, guys. So in this video, I will be giving the high five at the end of the video. We're gonna do a slate breakdown. First thing, we're gonna cover each position, who we like, why we like them. I'm gonna give my high five, and at the end, Uncle Craig is gonna give his hall pass list. As you guys know, if you watched the podcast last year, he gives his guys that he would pretty much leave his wife for. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And that's exactly accurate.
That's it.
but only for a short time. For only this weekend only.
Yeah. So, not forever. He's not loyal like that. Okay. So
speaking of that, man, so I have this great place I love to eat down here at the Bishop Arts District in Dallas. Yeah. Shout out to Bishop Arts.
Yeah.
You've been there, right?
Yes.
Anyways, man, it's like this little hole in the wall place. They serve Cuban sandwiches.
Uh-huh.
And, oh, dude, it is the greatest thing ever. So I wanted to let you know. I wanted to think about that. I just thought about that and wanted to recommend that to you. But be careful before you take Selena there because I brought your aunt there. And after that first bite, she made some sounds that didn't quite register with me. All right? Like, of the deep moaning variety. I'm talking, they were so aggressive that it made my entire sex life flash before my eyes. Yeah. And I was left wanting.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, hey, I totally understand what you're saying. I just wish it wasn't my aunt. You were saying that what you were going on, that you were talking about. But hey, it is what it is.
I'm not meaning to tarnish your brand, but for me, this is on brand. Talking about sexual inadequacy.
So pretty much it made you feel inadequate.
All right, we need to get off this hall pass and sexual inadequacy stuff. Let's go.
All right. So let's get straight into it. Yes, we're gonna start off with quarterback. Let's go ahead and talk about. Let's break down our favorite guys. Guys, if we're not really on a guy, we're not even going to really talk about him too much. We're not going to waste too much time. We want to just give you guys the juice, and we don't want to end up having this to be a 2-hour long recording. So we want you guys to come in here, get exactly what you need, and get that money this week. All right? So let's start off at quarterback. Craig, who is your ultimate favorite quarterback this week?
Well, it's hard to pass up Tom Brady against Houston. But I kind of want to go on the other side of the ball. You know how I have affinity for quarterbacks that can run,
right?
And so I'm gonna go ahead and take a risk with Deshaun Watson coming back from his injury. He was just on fire last year.
He was super hot before he got hurt. He was
weeks 3 through 8. He was just lighting the world on fire, and what started his coming out party was against New England at New England week 3 last season. Yeah. So he's definitely the head of my hall pass list this week.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if he had an amazing game. I mean, here's the thing that bothers me with him a little bit, to the point where I kind of feel better putting him in GPP. Solely on the fact that we know his upside, like we talked about, he lit it on fire in the beginning of last year. Like, he shocked a lot of people. But at the same time, he's coming off an ACL, which is a serious injury. A lot of guys struggle to come back from that. And he's a quarterback, so we really want him to run around like he normally does, and that's part of the reason that made him so good is he got out of the pocket, got some time, and was able to find his guys. So we want him to feel comfortable. Obviously, I think he will be fine, but him coming off that injury worries me a little bit, for sure. Another thing that bothers me a little bit is, it doesn't bother me much at all, honestly. I said the wrong thing. DeAndre Hopkins. I know we're getting the receivers, but he has an amazing matchup against Stephon Gilmore. So, I mean, I think those two connect a lot. So if you do want to go with Deshaun Watson, you end up going that route, definitely pair him with his favorite guy, DeAndre Hopkins. I think you got to. Amazing matchup. But yeah, no, I like Deshaun Watson. I'm with you on that, dude.
Yeah, I just think the game script and game flow, pretty sure New England is going to win this game. They're favored by 6 points right now. They're at a 51 total. So I just, it's the safer bet is probably to go Tom Brady. There's only $500 difference between Tom Brady and Deshaun Watson.
Right.
But
well, I mean, I'm about to give you a guy I'd prefer, to be real with you. Instead of Tom Brady, I'm really not too interested in paying the 72. I mean, I'm fine with it. They are the higher total on the slate, one of the higher totals. But the highest total is New Orleans and Drew Brees. Drew Brees at 6'8". I mean, him being only 100 over Watson, I think I like Drew Brees going against Tampa Bay. Bad secondary, other than Grimes. But Drew Brees should be able to do very, very well here in this matchup. He's only 6'8", and like I said, highest total on the slate against a bad secondary. So Drew Brees is my guy at 6'8". I love him. Let's go ahead and just touch on some other guys real quick. Andrew Luck, coming back from obviously a disappointing year. He barely played at all. He just throughout the preseason, he has not looked great, to be real with you. And I mean, eventually he'll find it, yes, but is this the week he does so? I kind of like he's 6'1", but still, can we trust it? What do you think? Is that just GPP only?
Yeah, I would reserve him for GPPs.
Only.
I don't have interest in him.
I would not put him in cash at all, so I just wanted to touch on him real quick. Kirk Cousins.
One person around that price, though. Well, you just mentioned Kirk. That's cool. I was actually thinking Phillip Rivers is attractive against Kansas City.
Yeah.
He was clicking with Keenan last year, so I'm definitely on that again. I love the Phillip Rivers Keenan Allen stack for cash.
Yeah.
If you're looking to save a little bit at QB, these QB prices, man, they're just so bunched right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're all around the same area. I mean, there's a lot of good, solid options here. Ben Roethlisberger at Cleveland is a good option there. Solid total. They're only 3.5 point favorite, so I'm expecting it to stay close. Obviously, Antonio Brown's the best option at wide receiver on the slate. We do have some good value guys too, so I don't think it'll be too hard to get Antonio in. But I still want to go through all the quarterbacks, and then we'll get. You guys can tell I'm super excited to get the wide receivers. That's one of my favorite positions to mess with. But yeah, Drew Brees is one of my favorite cash quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers, like you said, is also a good option. Cam Newton against Dallas. Dallas' secondary is garbage. We know that. But Cam Newton didn't have the greatest of years last year. So it's just, I mean, I love that Christian McCaffrey's there, and I really have big hopes for Christian McCaffrey this year. I think they've been able to work him more into the offense, and I think he's going to be a very, very, very good option there. Love Christian McCaffrey in PPR. But Cam Newton against Dallas, it's a decent matchup, but I mean, with Dallas missing so much, I mean, the situation with Dallas is that, all they have offensively is Ezekiel Elliott. So, I mean, defenses can just plan for Zeke, stack the box, and make Dak throw to some of these wide receivers he has and hope that their cornerbacks can at least contain him. I mean, no Dez, obviously. So, that's what bothers me a little bit. So, can Dallas put enough run? I mean, obviously, you're a Dallas fan, Craig, I know. But can Dallas put enough points on the board to where Cam needs to air it out enough?
I am not signing off on this take one bit. And it's not just because I'm a Dallas fan. Look, Dallas's best defense is their running game and their offense. And if Zeke can get going and they can chew clock, or if they can somehow stay competitive and get in this game, it just limits the upside of Cam. And at the second highest price on the slate, I mean, I just can't not see getting to him over Tom Brady, Drew Brees, or Watson.
Yeah, me either. I don't look at him like definitely got to go with him, for sure. I'm just saying, I know you're a Dallas fan, I get it, and I know there's a lot of Dallas fans watching us right now. My whole worry about Dallas, and obviously we'll have to see what happens, okay? But their passing game is really not there. It's a very big question mark, at least for now. And defenses know, just like we know, that Ezekiel Elliott is their main guy. And if they stack that box, I mean, Zeke is good enough to still do well. But if they stack that box heavy and make Dak throw to beat them, it could cause a little bit of an issue for Dallas. A little bit. So, I mean, I'm just saying I'm worried about that offense a little bit. Y'all didn't make many upgrades defensively to really stop guys from scoring on you pretty easily. So I'm worried about Zeke. Obviously, in the pass game, he'll be able to make up for it. In Draftkings is PPR, so that's good. But still, I mean, yeah. Anyways, we'll move on from that, though. I don't want to break your heart too much. Marcus Mariota for Tennessee. He had some decent moments last year, but I'm not too on him at 6'3", like I said. I mean, guys, honestly, on this slate, I'm going to talk about these other guys and get into them a little bit. Honestly, on this slate, you pay up for get you some Tom Brady. If you have the extra money, why not? It's a great matchup. I think it's going to be fine. You go Deshaun Watson, like Craig said, and you hope that that knee injury is fine for him. I think he's going to be just fine, by the way. You go Ben Roethlisberger is also fine, or you Phillip Rivers and Drew Brees. Those are pretty much the main guys. Brady, Watson, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, and Drew Brees. Those are kind of my favorite quarterbacks that I'll be looking around playing with, making multiple lines with. But, I mean, hey, there's a few other guys. What kind of cheaper options do you like on this slate, Craig?
All right, I'm going to go with Dak Prescott after all that Dallas bashing.
Yeah.
And it might just be the homer in me, guys, so don't take this one unless you're down with it too, but I just love their offense. Their offensive line is the best in the league still. I know we still run the ball, but that's going to leave some play action opportunities for Dak. He still can run the ball and get us a solid floor, okay? So he's not the sexiest play. I don't think he has the most upside.
GPP only for sure, because that's taking a huge risk. It doesn't feel super safe to me, honestly.
Right. No, and I agree with that. Like, he won't be in our cash games considering the options that you mentioned.
I mean, if you're a huge Dallas fan and you just absolutely love Dallas and you're okay with your line sucking, then go ahead and play Dak Prescott. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a struggle for him, honestly, I believe. I mean, hey, we're going to have to see week one. Who knows? Maybe they come out Allen Hurns. I'm
willing to fall on that.
I know, because you're a huge fan. But DFS, you got to put that aside. Like, I'm not going to say, obviously, the Falcons are an amazing offense, so it makes it easy for me to be like, oh, I like this guy, I like this guy, I like this guy. But Dallas suck. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm not going to get into it. Okay. Anyways,
all right, who's your value? QB?
Yeah, my value QB that I like. I like Patrick Mahomes. Kind of excites me a little bit at 6,000. I love his running ability. Against the Chargers is a little bit scary, seeing that defense only allowed 213 passing yards a game to quarterback on average. So they did well. Their secondary is good. Their defense in general is looking good this year. But Patrick Mahomes, man, he's got some flavor. Okay, he can do some things. Obviously, like I said, he can run. He can do his thing. Alex Smith is out of town now, so he's going to be the man. And he might want to come out and show things, just like Deshaun Watson came out early last year and showed things. So we'll have to see what happens. I would only reserve it for GPP. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes. And real quick, I'm going to mention one more time. For cash games, my options are Tom Brady. Okay, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, and Drew Brees are my cash game plays. Deshaun Watson, I don't care either way. You can go either way. You can play him in cash if you want. I wouldn't go overboard. I'd prefer him in GPP just in case. Vegas is kind of thinking they're going to get held fairly in check because of that total, but I'm not too worried about it too much. So yeah, I like the situation there for him. So let's go ahead and, now that we did our our quarterbacks, we got most of that out of the way. Let's go ahead and touch on running backs. Obviously, I think both of us agree. Top running back option of the slate, I believe, is Alvin Kamara. I think you're on board with me there, right?
Yeah, you keep stealing my hall pass names. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Hey, we're gonna get it at the end of the podcast. We're both gonna get onto it. But,
gotcha. But yeah, man, Mark Ingram out.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara in that high total. We know how Drew Brees loves to throw the ball to his man, Alvin Kamara, out of the backfield. So DK scoring, full point PPR. Love Alvin Kamara this week.
I'm with you, dude.
He is my Cuban sandwich. I'm letting out deep moans.
Yeah.
For Alvin Kamara. But I think the whole rest of the industry is doing the same.
Yeah,
so
no, he's going to be.
This
yeah,
is no surprise. I think he's going to be probably the highest owned player, possibly the highest owned player in the entire.
The whole slate.
Yeah, I think he's the highest owned player in the whole slate.
Yeah, I mean, with Mark Ingram out, obviously when Mark Ingram was totally out last year, at times he went crazy. He's in a great spot. I mean, look, Vegas has their total at 29.5 implied runs. They're huge favorites, so even when Kamara's part of that getting up big, he's going to be running, and I agree with it. I think they're going to smoke Tampa Bay. So when they get up, Alvin's also going to get involved in that run game. And at 8.5, I love him. I love David Johnson too, though. Only 300 more. I think he's more of a GPP type play because I don't think many people are going to be on him with Alvin Kamara at 8.5. But David Johnson, let's not forget who he is. He was out a lot last year. I get it. But let's not forget the type of guy he's top 3 running back in the league. Okay, he is right up there with the big dogs. And he's priced accordingly at 8.8 for sure. I love David Johnson against Washington. I think he has a great game. I mean, at the end of last year, C.J. Anderson got over 28 DraftKings points against this Washington defense. Alfred Morris, when he was getting a shot, got 21 against them. Like, guys were running all over Washington last year. David Johnson's a great option at 8.8. Let's go ahead and talk about...
Are you full fading Le'Veon Bell?
I'm not... Nah, I think I am. At 9.4, I think I am going to full fade him, honestly. It's too expensive. And like I said, I'd prefer Antonio Brown. Because I don't know if Pittsburgh really gets up huge in this game. I like Cleveland's offense. I like what they have there. They got Tyrod came into town. Okay, they've got Jarvis Landry, my favorite receiver in the league, especially in PPR. They've got Josh Gordon, I believe is one of the big dogs in the league at receiver as well. He's a beast. And he's looking he's looking ripped, dude. Have you seen any updated pictures of Josh Gordon?
No.
He looks like a superhero, to be real with you. Like
that sounds like something I would be doing though. Photos.
No, I'm saying I saw it on Twitter. There was a picture and they were like, "Oh man, oh shit, Josh Gordon's gonna go crazy this year because he looks like a monster." It's ridiculous.
I'm always searching for photos of guys.
I'm not surprised.
Hall pass guy.
I'm not surprised. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going. Melvin Gordon, I love at 6.8. I know I'm bouncing around prices a little bit here, but I'm just really want to make sure you guys are aware of the guys that we really love. Melvin Gordon at 6.8 versus Kansas City. The Chargers, I love it, man. He was one of the more consistent running backs in the league last year. It's a great spot. The last time he played Kansas City, it was at Kansas City. He got 28. He rushed for 78 rushing yards, got 91 receiving yards, okay, and a touchdown. So I love Melvin Gordon here at 6.8. He's a great option for me. Any interest in Leonard Fournette against the Giants at 7.1?
Oh, I think he's a great cash game running back with his locked-in workload and talent. Right. He's the man. But for me, I prefer somebody a little bit cheaper going against my Cowboys, and that's Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean?
No, I like him at 6.4.
He's going to be the lead back this year.
Yeah.
Three down workhorse, getting that full point PPR going against.
Let's just take a Let's take a moment of silence for Stewart finally not being there. Like, I love that Stewart is not a part of that anymore.
Yes, sir.
Like, I love Christian McCaffrey. I'm so glad I'm not going to be seeing that dude take away from McCaffrey because the times that you did see McCaffrey last year, he just looked amazing. I just wanted to put that out there. I love Christian McCaffrey this year. If you still haven't drafted for your season long, get you some McCaffrey if you can get him. I love him, especially if it's full point PPR. So, yeah, I'm with you. Versus Dallas. Dallas was decent against pass-catching running backs last year. They ranked 6th in the league against pass-catching backs. So this could be a tough task for him, especially with a game that we don't know exactly how the flow is going to be here on this game because, like I said, Dallas's offense is a question mark. But either way, he's going to get it on the ground too. But he's not much of a big guy. I kind of rather him in situations where he's going to have to, catch a lot of balls.
Right, like if the game script was
exactly
calling for them to be down.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see that. But they're going to be down against the Cowboys, so you might.
Okay. No, I'm with you on McCaffrey. I love him at 6.4 for sure. I'm there with you. We said about Le'Veon Bell. I don't have crazy interest in him at 9.4. Obviously, I see that matchup is amazing. I don't have tons of love for him. The wind is blowing very heavy during this game. Okay, that's something that I am aware of as of right now when I'm talking to you. The wind is projected to be very, very harsh. I'm looking at damn near 20-mile-per-hour winds at game time. So that's going to adjust the passing game a lot. I still like Ben, and I still like Antonio Brown, but if we keep an eye on this weather, and it looks like that pass game is going to be a huge struggle with huge gusts of wind moving that ball around, then that run game gets upgraded for sure. Those are certain things you need to know in DFS. You need to keep an eye on the weather there too. It's not just with baseball. Okay, you want to make sure. I mean, obviously, it's not as important, but it is a big deal with the wind being over 20 miles per hour. They're definitely going to put more running into the game script. What do you think about Le'Veon? Are you worried about paying up for him at all?
Yeah, I'm locked on Kamara, so there's just no way I'm gonna get up to Le'Veon Bell. Unless I was mass entering, then of course I would be playing a certain percentage for Le'Veon Bell.
If you're playing a ton of lineups, then yeah, definitely get a little bit of Le'Veon in there. I mean, like I said, hey, it could end up being a running game script here in this one, especially if that weather stays like that. So to keep an eye on it, that's all we're saying. But at 9.4, yeah, I like Alvin a little more with a discount, almost $1,000 discount. So yeah, I'm with that. What about Kareem Hunt for Kansas City? How are you feeling about that at 6'9"?
Oh, I love him. He's just a good price. This is not a scary matchup for me. Locked in workhorse. I think he's a great play, but I'm really excited to see somebody a little bit cheaper than him, and that's Dalvin Cook and his return from injury. I'm really hoping that he's 100% full go. I love this matchup at 6,200. Dalvin Cook was looking so good before that injury last year, and this matchup, you cannot ask for a better spot for Dalvin Cook, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. He's definitely looking like a solid option for sure. He is coming off an ACL injury, so we're hoping he's able to come through and be okay.
Yeah, and we're assuming as we go through this, we're about a week away still. That everybody is playing and healthy. Obviously, if we find out later in the week that guys aren't full go or they're going to be, on a leash or something like that, we'll be changing how we view things. But for now, I'm assuming he's a full go.
By the way, I just wanted to tell you guys, if you're wondering why Uncle Crank sounds so down and blah, he is sick right now. I just want you to be aware of it because you might be thinking he's just like falling asleep over there. But yeah, he's definitely going through some sickness. A guy that I like at 5'6" is Alex Collins for Baltimore against Buffalo. Buffalo as a team in general, I'm not loving this year. So I love attacking them with Alex Collins. If you look at the backs that face Buffalo towards the end of the year last year, Frank Gore got 18. Kenyon Drake got 23. Dion Lewis got 35. Alex Collins is a good pass-catching back. He's going to be their main running back this year for Baltimore. What do you think about Alex Collins? I love him at 5'6".
He seems to be a good value. Honestly, he just doesn't do it for me, man. He's not making any hall pass lists anytime soon.
No, that's fine. He's not making. He will. No, I wouldn't say anytime soon. He's a solid back. I think he will make your hall pass pretty soon.
Maybe.
He's a solid option. Great matchup. I love Alex Collins at 5'6". Carlos Hyde, new running back for the Cleveland Browns. Like I told you guys, I'm liking this offense that Cleveland's got here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Carlos Hyde kind of rejuvenated here. As we know with Tyrod Taylor, he loves to move around the pocket. He loves to run outside of the pocket, which it's going to help when any of these Cleveland receivers happen to be struggling. Hyde's going to be able to come on those little short routes and get some nice little dump-offs. At 4.5, that price is really, really good.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's great value.
One of my favorite value on the slate is Rex Burkhead at 4.2. Obviously, we know how Tom Brady loves Rex Burkhead. He vultured a ton of touchdowns last year. I love Rex Burkhead coming out of the. Obviously, Draftkings is PPR, so Burkhead is a very good pass-catching back. I love Burkhead at 4.2, man. This is a high total. Vegas has him right under New Orleans at 28. They're 6.5 favorites, so I'm liking Rex Burkhead here. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's one of the safest floors on the slate as far at that price point. So
yeah,
I think he should be fairly well owned.
right.
I don't think, I think everybody's pretty much going to be on it. I'm just really tired of New England burning me. Like, I think I'm get the right back, and then the other one freaking goes off or whatnot, and the Vultures touchdowns or
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hate when that happens, dude. That's what happens in DFS sometimes. Another guy I want to talk to, Royce Freeman, has been named the starter for Denver entering Week 1. Keep in mind, though, this is against Seattle, which is a good defense. And the coach came out and said Royce is their lead guy, but on third downs you're going to see Devontae Booker. Obviously, with Royce being named the starter, I like Royce. He's only 4.5, by the way, and they're projected 23 implied run total. I don't know if I love it because it's still kind of the unknown, but it is a good situation for GPP, definitely. For 4.5, Royce Freeman was named the starter for Denver. Like I said, you will have some Devontae Parker vulturing some third down work, but other than that, Royce should get some good touches. It is against a solid defense, but I like Royce for GPP to see how it goes.
Yeah, I like that call, but
Yeah.
I would definitely get on Burkhead before I'd get on Freeman. Just I want to see him, especially against Seattle defense. But yeah, for like a GPP play to pivot off the Burkhead, like higher projected ownership, I like that.
Yeah, no, and also another guy like Burkhead that I love, who also was on the team with Burkhead, Dion Lewis, has gone to Tennessee. I've heard a lot of news about Dion being used a lot in this passing game, man. Even when he's not lined up, obviously they have Henry back there to run the ball predominantly on the first downs. But Dion Lewis at 4.9 in a PPR league, we know the type of skills this guy has. We know the type of talent he has. I love him because they've already came out and said he's like their toy. They love him. They're going to be lining him up everywhere, okay? This coach is really going to love using him in the slot, all that. Dion is definitely, he's a matchup issue for any defense they face. So Dion Lewis at 4.9, I like him a lot. I think maybe we'll touch on, that's about it. We got Matt Breida. Matt Breida will be making the start for San Francisco now that McKinnon is injured out over there, so I definitely want to talk about them. It's against Minnesota, though. So I'm not really interested in using him much. So I just wanted to mention him for sure. But yeah, I won't be using him too much. Let's go ahead and move on to wide receivers, man.
Yeah, and real quick, just to touch on that just a little bit more, and then we'll move on, is you definitely want to make sure you pay attention to injuries throughout the week and stuff like that. Like McKinnon going down and the fill-in Breida, usually that would be money and chalk. But because of the matchup, I don't think we really need to go there this week.
Yeah.
But usually in DFS and in NFL DFS, that kind of information is crucial.
If that was happening and it was up against a bad defense, then lock him in. But against Minnesota, I'm not too interested in using him, even if he is starting and getting 1 million carries. Like, I'm good.
Mike Zimmer's defense over there for the Vikings is just very legit. I think they're probably the best defense in the league, will be this year. So I don't want to toy with them mess with them on the first week for sure. If we find out that it's okay, then we'll go for it. Wide receivers?
Wide receivers. Let's go ahead and touch on it. Obviously, Antonio Brown. I absolutely love Antonio Brown. If you have the money to go Antonio, go ahead. Keep an eye out on that weather. It's very strong weather. But the matchup for Antonio is just looking nice, obviously. He's against Terrence Mitchell, who's ranked bottom in the league at stopping receivers, obviously. So Antonio Brown's got one of the juicier matchups of the slate. Who do you like out there? Obviously, probably loving DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, I am in love with DeAndre Hopkins, another Hall Pass member, going up against the Patriots. One of the worst at holding the wide receiver position down last year, and their team is projected to be up and winning. To me, that is heaven. Whenever I have a beautiful matchup pairing like Deshaun Watson to Hopkins against a bad defense where that opposing team can get up on me, that's a recipe for success. I've been playing DFS for many years, and that is a tried and true go-to move that we all need to just take advantage of. And they're going to be down, and our boys are going to be airing it out to try to keep up with Tom Brady and the Patriots. So Sign me up for DeAndre Hopkins. He's my man.
Hey, that's one thing we know. We know New England's going to score. Edelman or not. We know England's going to score. We know DeAndre's going to have to catch a lot of passes. So for sure, I like that. Another guy I love, Keenan Allen for the Chargers at 7.5. We know he's a PPR beast. Vegas has their line at 25 implied total. It should stay fairly close. We'll have to see. The Chargers defense is looking very legit this year. But either way, Keenan Allen's the favorite receiver for Rivers, obviously. And at 7.5, I love his matchup against Kendall Fuller. The cornerback he'll be facing against for Kansas City. This dude is not very good. So he's definitely one of my targets, Keenan Allen at 7.5. Obviously, we mentioned, I'm going to talk about Odell right after this, but we mentioned loving Drew Brees. I love Michael Thomas against Carlton Davis of Tampa Bay. Davis is not very good at all, and this high total shows why it shows why the total is so high, because this is a huge mismatch for Michael Thomas against Carlton Davis. I love Michael Thomas at 7.8. Odell Beckham, Uncle Craig. Odell Beckham. All right, so
that matchup's bad.
Brandon Marshall's gone, but he's going against Jalen Ramsey, one of the best corners in the league. But we also know Odell Beckham can be used in GPP. He's definitely not safe because of this matchup, but he can be used in GPP solely on the fact that Odell loves to show up in tough matchups. So I would not be shocked if at 7,000, and he still is a top receiver in the league, obviously.
Yeah.
He's one of the top receivers in the league. Just because he's against Jalen Ramsey and that Jacksonville defense, I understand his price is very low. But in GPP, I'm fine with taking a shot on him because of his price and the fact that Odell is still Odell, and he's going to get a lot of targets, and he's going to show up against great cornerbacks. We know it time and time again, Odell shows up in tough matchups, but only GPP.
I do not know if Odell is still Odell, so I'm fading him completely in all formats. And
that's fine. And I'm fine with that. And me and you both play cash games predominantly, by the way, which is the most consistent way to cash weekly, guys. So you need to be trying that too. At the end of this, I'll have Uncle Craig tell you guys the best contest you need to enter for this week 1 matchup. I know the $1 Million Makers sound super juicy, but just listen to what Uncle Craig has to say at the end of this, and take his advice, okay, to be able to win consistently. But yeah, Odell obviously had a very down year last year. Vegas is not seeing them scoring much. But like I said, GPP, take the shot, man. That price, he's still one of the best receivers in the league. AJ Green, I have to mention him. I love him at 7.3 against Pierre Desir. I think I'm saying his name right, but I know he's horrible. He's a horrible cornerback, and I know last year he had a down season last year, at least from what you'd expect of AJ. But hey, they got a new offensive coordinator. It's looking like a great situation for AJ to have a bounce back season. I love AJ. He's slipping down drafts as well. So if you haven't had your season-long draft, take advantage of how AJ is slipping down the ranks. But still, at 7.3, I love him in this individual matchup. Like I said, Pierre Desir is not good at all. It's in a dome in Indianapolis. But yeah, AJ Green, I love him. Mention a receiver you like around that the 6.
In GPP, I would like to take a look at Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, and maybe even stack them with their new quarterback Kirk Cousins.
Right.
I think that they got a huge upgrade from what they're used to seeing and what we're used to seeing from Minnesota.
Keenum's solid, dude. Dude, that Minnesota offense was legit last year.
I know.
I think you're smoking crack right now.
They got Cousins now, so I'm just saying. I think they're going to be much more balanced and
they'll be fine.
I'm actually looking forward to them this year. I think they're going to be a really good team. They're super balanced defense, running game, and now I think their passing game is going to be legitimate. So the only downside here is I really think they're going to have their way with San Francisco and will not be needing to rely on this passing game. So I don't really like it for too much upside. I think it'll be contrarian. I don't think people will be on it because of those facts, but I'm excited to see how this works out with this Kirk Cousins experiment.
No, yeah, I think it'll be fine. Let's touch on some other guys. As I said earlier, I love New Orleans offense this week. Mike Evans on the other side of the ball for Tampa Bay. I don't love the matchup against Marshawn Lattimore, who definitely showed that he can be a top cornerback in the league last year. He was a beast. I don't love the matchup, but Tampa Bay is going to be airing it out a shit ton to keep up with Drew Brees in New Orleans. So I kind of like Mike Evans at 6'7". I love Jarvis Landry. At 5'5", he's got a matchup against Mike Hilton. He's going to be matched up with Mike Hilton, which is a good matchup for him. Jarvis is a mismatch pretty much all the time. He's just too quick. I love Jarvis. We know he's on my hall pass list. At 5,500, he's going to be peppered with targets by Tyrod. I love Jarvis Landry a lot. Obviously, they have Josh Gordon, so I'm not expecting him to get targeted like he was at Miami. But here in this matchup against Mike Hilton, like I said, great matchup for him. I love Jarvis Landry at 5'5". Another guy I want to definitely mention is Larry Fitzgerald, the OG. He's going for a record this year. Okay, so expect him to keep doing his thing and trying to be productive. There's other things that he's going for. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm sorry. But there was something he's still going for this year that he's going to try to reach before he ends his career officially. But his matchup against Washington and Fabian Moreau, I can never say his name right, is a great matchup for him. Fabian is really one of the worst cornerbacks in the league on this list. So Larry Fitzgerald at 6'6" is a good option. But I don't love the price. I wish it was a little less, but still. He's a solid option.
There's one guy that's going to be soaking up the ownership in this $6K range. Mm-hmm. To me, and it's pretty obvious. I think Chris Hogan should be almost locked in.
No Edelman.
Yeah, no Edelman. A 4-game suspension. Yeah. Okay, so Chris Hogan should be locked in as the New England number 1 wide receiver. Yeah. At 6'1", I think that is too low.
Yeah, no.
He should easily be about a $7,000 receiver in that offense.
In cash games, guys, he's going to be high owned. Okay, so in cash games, I wouldn't think too much over it. On 6'1", he's got Tom Brady throwing in the ball, and it's a good matchup against Houston. I'm with it.
Yeah, if a little white boy makes my hall pass list, it's legit. So Chris Hogan is the man this week.
Yeah, no, Chris Hogan's in it, definitely.
And let me just bring it up. I know we'll get to it. We're probably running short on time, so we've got to speed up a little bit. But I like on the same game, same side of the ball, Philly Dorsett as the number 2 this week at 3,700 just seems like a steal value-wise at the wide receiver position.
Oh, yeah, 3.7 for sure. No, and I have another guy who's very cheap that is in a great position here, and it's Keelan Cole for Jacksonville. Marquise Lee, he's out for the year. So Keelan Cole is going to be soaking up more targets. He's going to be the main receiver for Jacksonville now. They've got D.D. Westbrook. We still got to see how that goes, but Keelan Cole, 3.8 against Janoris Jenkins. Don't love the matchup. Janoris is okay, but it's still Keelan Cole. He's going to get a lot of targets here. For 3.8, he's free. You know what I'm saying? I love Keelan Cole as the main receiver for Jacksonville. Like we know, they lean on Fournette a lot. But anytime they pass, Keelan's going to get some good targets, and in PPR, it's a good situation for him. And like I said, 3.8. That's all that matters. I love Keelan Cole at 3.8. All right. Any more wide receivers you really want to touch on right now?
Let's just throw an honorable mention at the value spot. Cam Meredith and Ted Ginn for New Orleans in that high total that we've been talking about this whole show, 4.4 and 4.3 respectively. Yep. They're definitely worth consideration.
I like it.
Any other wide receiver value?
I'll mention one since you love Dallas so much. Allen Hurns should be their main guy this year, going against James Bradbury, is who he's going to be matched up with in Carolina, and that's a great matchup. Absolutely great matchup for Hurns. So Hurns could have a very good. Hey, when he got his moments, when Allen Robinson would be out over there in Jacksonville, when he would get his moments, he would shine. He was a good. I remember I played him multiple times. Allen Hurns, he could end up being solid here for Dallas, and they need him. Lord knows they need him. So I love Allen Hurns here. Yes, all right. So let's go ahead and move on. Keep an eye on Danny Amendola in that situation in Miami too. We know Tannehill loves those little dump off passes, and guess what Danny's good at? The little dump offs. So keep an eye on Danny Amendola, who went over there. All right, let's touch on some tight ends, man. What are your feelings when you first look at tight end? Who is your favorite guys?
Obviously, Gronkowski is probably locked to be the best tight end play of the week, but he's so expensive, and I think there's some decent value there. But I mean, you can't go wrong with Gronk. If you find the savings and go value somewhere and you want to get to Gronk and pair him with Brady, I'm not gonna fault anybody for that.
Yeah.
But I like Delaney Walker going against that Miami team who has been pretty bad the last several years against tight ends.
Yeah.
At $4,900, the $2,000 savings you get off Gronk, I'm assuming that Delaney Walker's healthy and gonna play.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No, he plans to play. It looks like he plans to play. So.
Okay. So yeah, I like him for that savings.
He's dealing with a little bit of injury, but yeah, at 4-9 against Miami. I mean, Miami allowed. You were right when you said Miami was bad versus tight ends. They allowed over 64 reception yards a game to tight end, which should turn into almost a touchdown a game. So that's, yeah. They give it up, and Delaney obviously is a huge target in that Tennessee offense. So I'm with you on that. I love Jack Doyle at 3.6. It gives you some savings at tight end. I love my man Jack against Cincinnati. They were allowing over 62, almost 63 reception yards a game on average to tight end. And Doyle is a consistent guy, and I expect Andrew Luck to kind of look for safety with his first in the beginning of this year till he starts really warming up and getting back to his old self. I'd expect him to do these little dump offs a lot, and I like Jack Doyle at 3.6. Who else you like?
Oh, okay. Sorry, man. I just looked at my DK app. Our MLB is freaking smashing right now. Holy shit.
Yeah, we've been super, super hot.
No, dude, we're 7th place.
Yeah.
Like, the entire squad is in 7th
sick.
place right now.
That's sick.
And, oh, my God.
Let's keep it NFL for now. We'll celebrate when we get off. Who else you like?
Oh, damn. Congratulations, squad, if you're still here with us. we rolled that MLB tonight. All right. My favorite tight end, though, is going down to Austin Seferian-Jenkins on his new team, Jacksonville. They don't have many pass catchers. You mentioned one that just left for Dallas.
Right.
Seferian-Jenkins is a quality tight end, pass catching tight end. He's going against one of the. Once again, I'm picking on the Giants, but that's kind of a theme that we've employed for a long time.
Horrible.
Pick on Miami, pick on the Giants against tight ends. Right? They can't cover them.
No.
So Austin Seferian-Jenkins at 3,200 in cash games is really, really safe.
Yeah.
He's the last member of my Hall Pass list.
I think it's when we talk cash, I think you either go Rob Gronkowski or you go Doyle, like I said, or Jenkins. I love those guys too. And if you wanna go Ben Watson at 3-1, that's fine too, especially if you have Breeze. Why not? So I like him too in that super high total. All right. We've pretty much covered the guys that should be owned. You shouldn't go too crazy at tight end. Obviously, you got Travis Kelce, one of the best tight ends in the league. He doesn't have his lover, Alex Smith, there anymore. Obviously, I still like Mahomes, and I'm not totally off Kelce. Kelce's going to have a fine year. But like I said, I expect the Chargers to be a solid defense this year. And I'm not too interested in Kelce at 6'4" when I can pay $500 more and just go Gronk in an amazing matchup. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Greg Olsen, I expect to have a huge year. Against Dallas, that's a fine matchup as well at 5'4". But yeah, I prefer kind of spending down for like the Doyles, the Jenkins, or the Ben Watson. I like those guys too. Defenses. Who's your favorite defense to play here this weekend, Craig?
Well, I know everybody's going to be on the Ravens. I don't want to steal your thunder there.
I love them. Yeah.
I am not a believer in the Giants at all. They're just horrendous.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Jacksonville versus the Giants.
And they're cheaper than the Ravens
Odell's
too.
Getting his butt shut down, and Eli's getting sacked and throwing picks and pick sixes. Yeah. Jacksonville's my favorite D.
Yeah, no, Jacksonville's gonna be some beasts. I agree with you. The only reason I like the Ravens is this matchup they have. I mean, Tyrod Taylor is out of town. He made him decent. Obviously, LaShawn McCoy is still there, and McCoy's gonna get soaked with targets. Like, he's going to get more touches than we've ever seen in our lives. Like, they literally have nothing else. Okay, this guy starting for Buffalo is just not ready. He's going to get absolutely dominated, and that's Nathan Peterman. Oh, I can't believe Buffalo's even starting him, to be honest with you. I mean, but what other options they have unless they pick up my grandma before Sunday? But,
right.
Yeah, Nathan Peterman's going to get rocked by the Ravens, and the Ravens are at home. So, honestly, I honestly would stay between those guys. I mean, you can go the Ravens or the Jags are great defense options. Or you could go the Chargers. I told you guys I like the Chargers this year at 2-8. They're going against Mahomes. the young guy, he should make some mistakes. So I do expect at least a pick or two here. So I like the Chargers at 2-8. They're my favorite value defense.
Are you going to mess with Minnesota this week, or are you a little bit afraid of Garoppolo?
Yeah, I'm not afraid of Garoppolo. I just like other options. I don't like that paying 3-5 for the Vikings when I can just go the Jags for 2 more. You know what I mean? For 200 more, why go Vikings D? Especially with that matchup. I'm fine with Vikings, but yeah, Garoppolo was solid. He looked good. That's not the reason I don't like the Vikings. The reason I don't like the Vikings is because you only got the Jags $200 more, and you got the Ravens right there around that area too. And I prefer both of them more.
I like the price on Seattle. I would be willing to.
Yeah, 3-1 against Denver. Unknown kind of Royce Freeman running back that I'm not too worried about. Yeah, I like that matchup as well for them. And that's it, guys. Go ahead and name out your Hall Pass list, and then I'll hit them with the high five.
All right. So my Hall Pass list went kind of long, so we'll give you an extra long Hall Pass list this week. Deshaun Watson, Alvin Kamara,
yeah,
Christian McCaffrey, DeAndre Hopkins,
yeah,
Chris Hogan, and Austin Seferian-Jenkins. Those are my Hall Pass guys this week.
I like it. The high five for this week. Drew Brees at 6'8" versus Tampa Bay. I told you guys I love him. Melvin Gordon is in a great spot here against Kansas City. Love him at 6'8". Antonio Brown, I'm fine with paying up at 8-6 with this matchup against Cleveland. Like I said, it's projected to stay close. I expect Antonio to have a huge week here. Probably top scorer on the slate. Keelan Allen, I talked about him briefly at wide receivers. That value is amazing. I want to make sure you guys take advantage of that at 3-8. Like I said, he's going to get some good targets. Allen Hurns is out of that lineup now. They need help. Marquise Lee is out for the year. Keelan Allen is probably the best value on the slate at 3-8. And then last but not least, Craig also had him in the Hall Pass, Chris Hogan. I mean, we both have to mention this guy because he's got Tom Brady throwing him the ball. I don't care who he is. He could be a midget. I'd still put him in because Tom Brady's throwing him the ball. Okay? So he's going to be a great play here. Edelman is out, suspended. Because him and Tom Brady just don't know how to follow rules. You know what I mean? Tom likes to deflate balls, and Edelman I can't even remember what the hell he did. You remember what he did? Enhancing drugs.
My mind went dark when
he did like PEDs. Stupid. He did like PEDs.
You can't do that to me.
It was like drugs or some shit like that. But yeah, Chris Hogan's going to be great, guys. He's in the high five. Let me say it one more time. Drew Brees, Melvin Gordon, Antonio Brown, Keelan Allen, and Chris Hogan is the high five. Good luck, guys. I hope you kill it. Go to greenlightdfs.com to join the squad for week 1. We should kill it. Thank you guys for joining us as always. Craig, anything to say?
Hey, I really appreciate you guys. You guys are why we are able to do what we do, and we do not take this for granted that you guys, the trust you put in us and the time you spend coming to us when there's so much noise out there in the world now with people doing what we do. So if you're here and you made it this long, thank you.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Appreciate you.
For sure, we love you guys. Thank you for watching as always. We're out.